Robert Plank Show, episode 190. Love Yourself Successful. Network using offline events, profit from social media, and jumpstart your business with Katrina Sawa. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Robert Plank Show, where we talk about building an online business and making money. We're joined today with Katrina Sawa, and we're going to talk about how to go from being online to making phone calls and getting speaking gigs and lots of fun stuff. Now, Katrina is known as the Jumpstart Your Biz Coach because she literally kicks her clients and their businesses into making a lot more money. And she's the author of Love Yourself Successful, and she's the creator of the Jumpstart Your Biz in 90 Days system. So, Katrina, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Robert. It's good to be here.
I am glad you're here. So, tell me about yourself. So we have this your Love Yourself Successful book and your Jumpstart Your Biz in 90 Days system. So, could you tell us what those are about?
Right. Somehow or another, I always talk about love and money. So it's all about making more money doing what you love. And the book came about through a personal story. Um, the way that I started my business was when I was married to my starter husband, and he wasn't that supportive, let's just say, of me being in my own business. And so I was settling, and I wasn't about to settle for the next 40 years. I was only 35, and I was in it 2 years too long, and it was pretty upsetting, but I had to leave the marriage. And so it's about my journey in faith and belief in myself in order to really go after what I wanted and knew what I was meant to be doing and find the people that would support me rather than settle with the people that won't.
And so, what's the secret? If someone listening has found themselves in maybe a place they don't want to be, around people that aren't good for them, and maybe they're not making the money they want yet, or the business is not taken off yet, what things need to happen?
Right. Well, I learned after I did that with myself that it was about 60% of my clients were going through the same kind of situation. And so there's two ways you can go, right? You can either have a better communication with the person, if it's a significant other, or it could be a friend or family member that I call as your toxic person or people. It's not that they don't love you and you don't love them, but they don't get you and they're not supportive and they say negative things that hold us back as an entrepreneur. So you either have to figure out how to communicate with them. I show people how to do that, but figure out how to communicate your big why, your mission, why you're here, your purpose. I know it doesn't always, those kinds of things don't always make sense to the people who have jobs, right? So if they don't get it, then you have to make a decision if you're going to stay and live with it, or if you can set boundaries, or if you need to leave, because I don't believe in settling.
Right, and I don't think anyone should settle either. So that kind of breaks down the problem into a simple action that has to be taken. Right, either fix the communication and keep the, I don't know, like the people in your life that are supposed to be there, or maybe the people are almost quite there but not. Maybe they're bad for you in the moment, it sounds like, but not quite really a person you want to cut loose. So maybe you need to try to fix that, or the boundaries, or maybe it's just not salvageable and you need to cut those ties. Is that about accurate?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to make a decision, really. I mean, because I've seen people suffer for way too long in unhappy relationships that aren't serving them and they're not getting anywhere in their business either. So they're not doing what they love. And it's just heartbreaking.
And then so they need to make that decision and get out of that heartbreak and fix that as soon as
Yeah.
possible. And so you work with these clients to do what exactly? To build up their online business, or to get them more clients or more traffic, or what kind of actions are you usually having people take?
Yeah, online marketing is just a part of what I do. I actually am more of a business coach that looks at all the different aspects of your business, online and offline. I come from the offline world, so I come from the advertising world, and I grew my business from networking and follow up in person in the first 3 years of my business before I even knew about how I could work online because it's been about 14 years now. So in the beginning, that's how I built it, and that's how I made my money. And I'm a great networker. I am very extroverted, so I teach introverts too how to love it. And then I had to learn the online stuff myself. So I've had many mentors, and now I teach what I know to people that I work with, who usually the people I work with are not very tech savvy. And so we have to show them step by step what to do, what to say, what to send, how to do it, how to figure out the technology. Most of my clients are over 45, sometimes in their 60s even. So, it's not natural for them.
Right. And so, so you're saying that they're not tech savvy. So, like, what exactly are they not tech savvy about? Is it as far as like getting like a simple website set up, or making sales, or like
I,
what are you seeing as
Are you
the
kidding me? Some of my clients don't even know that you can make folders on your desktop with your files.
oh
Like,
no.
that's how, yeah, this is what we're talking about. And I'm not trying to make fun, but it's the simplest things. Or they get bogged down with how to do teleseminar, software and stuff like that, or just a teleseminar line, or they wouldn't even be able to get on Skype, trust me. And for the most part. And so I really love showing people how to do stuff online and getting them more comfortable with things that they can learn. And I even show them how to do shopping carts and the back end of their WordPress and how to do blogs. I mean, it's the simplest thing as placing a picture and making a link and, embedding video. I mean, some things that come natural to you and I uh, just are way out of most of my clients' mind scope.
And I mean, yeah, like you said, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just some people choose to focus their attention on things that interest them, right? And I know a lot of people who just they could care less about WordPress child themes, or chmodding files or whatever. And so, I mean, so what's the answer? Like, if someone's listening and they say, well, like they might be like good at business or have a business, but they don't like the technical stuff. I mean, is the answer that they hire someone like you, or is the answer that they buy a course or watch videos, or like how do they get over that hump?
Well, my suggestion is not always to learn everything out there that you could potentially learn, especially if it's not your forte and you're not comfortable with certain things. You shouldn't build your own website if you are not a website designer, right? You shouldn't even take a course on how to build your own website because you're still going to probably suck at it. So you should just hire a professional. Your website is your most important marketing tool. It should be the hub of your business where everything comes in and out of, it flows in and out too, and how you systematize things with even your offline marketing, your follow-up, your sales processes, your lead generation, autoresponders, your sales, all that kind of stuff needs to flow and be within your website, as you know. But most people, even if they try to take a course on it, will still not get it right. So, I just suggest you outsource certain things. And I mean, I've been doing that all my career. And of course, it's not always that. I mean, there's affordable options in anything you're doing. So just probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I developed a techie team, a Jumpstart Your Techie team, because so many of my clients didn't know where to go and they kept getting, don't want to say screwed, but they were getting screwed by people who were just taking their money and not doing what they said they would do, or putting it off for months and months and months, or they would disappear. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to start a techie team and I'm going to pull in people that I know and trust, and I'm going to do this for clients. So I don't do the techie work for clients. I actually do the strategy part of it and the ideas, and then we outsource it to my team. But you certainly don't have to hire me, just hire somebody, right?
Right, just hire somebody. And what kind of comes to mind as you're explaining this is that it just seems like there's like some amount of baggage, I guess, as far as like outsourcing and hiring a team. And it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like the way that you're explaining this is that if someone says, okay, well, I'm not technical, like they don't have to hand over their whole business to someone, and it also doesn't have to be like a monthly recurring thing, right? Like someone can just hire somebody just to make the website or just to
Yeah,
make some blog posts. They don't have to just completely
project
make that
work.
huge jump. Yeah.
Yeah, it's project work. And you certainly can if you find the right people. A lot of times people will get taken by the wrong people still in this arena. So I always say, reach out to me. I'm happy to give you referrals to the people that would, uh, are exactly someone who I trust and all that. So it's, they're not all created equal out there.
Right, makes a lot of sense. And so you mentioned that, okay, so you do this coaching and you meet with people and you're the one who figures out like the big picture, the strategy, and then you have your techie team do the pieces. And so are you noticing like when you meet with these clients, do most people, do they have no clue of what they want? Do they have like a somewhat of a plan on what they want? I mean, what are you seeing these days?
For web design. Um,
Yeah, I mean, web design or just when people come to you to get the online part of their business figured out.
Most of the people that come to me have no clue. But I love it when somebody has a clue and they come to me and they say, okay, I have these things, I need these things, and can you just help me put it together? Because that's great. I love to just go. I'm a very action oriented person and I love to just take action with people. But I'm also a very nurturing type of person too. So if I need to sit for a couple calls and pull stuff out of people to develop their signature system or the process they're going to take on their website or the look and feel of what they should have on their website or how to write their autoresponders and the copy for their websites. I love to do that also. So there's people out there that just are not good at that and don't want to learn it and still can't get it even if they try. So
But then you're the kind of person that I mean, you love to write autoresponders in the same way that some people might to, play football or baseball or something like that. Like that's what you geek
now,
out on, just like the rest of us, right?
yeah, no, I don't write them. I don't sit there and write copy. I love to get on a call, on a recording, and I'll talk it out. I'm really good at talking copy and talking wording for all this stuff with people based on who their target audience is, who their personality is. So, you have a little brainstorming session. I can get people pretty quickly. I can get who their target audience is and what the pain points are, and I can usually spit out the copy pretty quickly. It's on recording. They can go listen back, write it down, and they're done. It makes it simple.
Awesome. And it sounds simple and easy for you, and you're playing to your strengths. And so, could you kind of walk us through like a story or a case study like this where maybe some client came to you and you felt them out and you figured out what they needed and you did the strategy for them?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's numerous. I have had an astrologer, I've had all kinds of healers, I've had coaches and business coaches and life coaches. I've even worked with roofing companies and electricians and other home improvement kind of companies, spas and salons, brick and mortars. I love the variety of businesses. So most of them don't know what to say in their copy. Most people don't know what to say. They don't know sales and marketing copy, and how to put that together. It's something you really have to learn. I think I've taken numerous courses and worked with many mentors on becoming a better copywriter, so to speak, or a better word and better at marketing messages. And it doesn't have to be salesy, but you have to be thinking of certain things that you're doing in order to really maximize the the pages.
Right, and that makes a lot of sense. So I guess so what you're saying is so when you met with say like the roofer or the spa person, so you just kind of asked them some of these questions to get the good stuff out of them, and then you sort of translated it into more of this copywriting speaks because maybe they ran this business and they maybe couldn't put things into like exciting wordage for someone else to
Yeah,
get hooked by. So you kind of just took their raw materials and then put it in a form that it's been proven to work on web pages and stuff like that.
right. Because it's totally different than writing a blog post or writing an essay. It's all different.
So I mean, is there like maybe like a top three or four types of things you set up? Like I know you mentioned like an autoresponder sequence and a sales letter, but do you notice like are there just like the bare essentials that you always set up or usually set up for these clients?
Well, it's always an opt-in box and a freebie, some kind of freebie, right? And that's like usually pulling teeth because they never know what to do, and most of the people I talk to are afraid of video these days. And video is, as you know, becoming hugely popular. That you have to get video on your website. So I'm nurturing them to be comfortable with video. I would say, uh, what else? Um, Opt-in boxes, video, getting them going with email marketing. As much as email is not getting that great of response these days, it's still a necessary evil. And And especially if you have a pretty niche market. I mean, I have some clients who are getting 40% open rates, 40 to 50, and that's pretty amazing, right? So in this day and age, and so getting them comfortable writing about their topic, giving great content, content development is probably one of the hardest things for a lot of people. And so I try to show them different ways to develop content based on their personality. All of those things together will get you out there in more ways and in front of more people and have more speaking opportunities, more, lead generation opportunities, more joint venture opportunities, and all of that.
Cool. So, and what's cool about this is that, I mean, these all sound like things that are, I mean, it's not rocket science, right? These are all things that have been around for 5, 10, 15 years, opt-in box, freebie, email marketing, content. And so there's like these, I guess, like boxes, so to speak, like things that have been proven to work. And then you just kind of take their good stuff and then apply your strategic and marketing magic and kind of put it into these boxes where, like everyone has seen an opt-in box, or everyone, knows to sign up to a newsletter and get some email, or people know to go and click on, check out blog posts and content and stuff like that. And you mentioned like, about how important it is to get, joint ventures and to get leads and to get speaking gigs. And one thing that I'm really curious about, what you said that you do, is you're good at taking businesses who are online to using phone calls to get speaking gigs. Is that right?
Yeah, I get about 60 to 65 speaking gigs a year. And many of those are in person, but most of them are probably virtual like this. This is an interview, right? And I do lots of telesummits and gift giveaways and all kinds of different things. Um, I am, first of all, a member, so it is good to be a member of a few different organizations that give you exposure, right? So whenever I decide to join any kind of organization, I make sure there's some kind of opportunity for getting exposure. Either I can write stuff on their blog and get published, or I can go out in their email newsletter, or I can be a guest speaker at a teleclass or webinar or something like that. So I look for exposure. If there's going to be good exposure opportunities, I'll usually join, if as long as it's reaching my target audience. So I'm a member of Public Speakers Association, Women Speakers Association, E-Women Speakers Network, and probably 5 other women's business organizations. And a lot of those give me opportunities in all of those ways. So I fly all over the country to speak at E-Women Network events, and I can speak at public speakers conferences and different chapters. So first of all, you want to do that. And then secondly, I use social media to go and privately message people on Facebook especially, but LinkedIn as well. Those are the 2 sites where you can really send a good private message to individuals. And especially on Facebook, you don't have to be friends or followers. You can send a message to anyone, and there's millions of people out there. So I have a whole strategy on how to do that. What to say is very important. You can't be salesy. And so what to say, I have templates for reaching out to new people you don't know, for contacting your current friends, for messaging people in groups. When you're a part of a group, you don't just want to spam the group, but there's a way to finesse those members. So I join lots of groups and I really finesse those relationships in there and pull it off of social media into a phone call. Let's see if or how we can help each other. And we get on a phone call, and then you just kind of toss around ideas, what each of you do, and find out how we can help each other, refer business to each other. And that's where a lot of my speaking gigs come, as well as joint ventures and even prospects.
So cool. So lots of good stuff there. And so first of all, so you mentioned that you've joined some of these speaking associations. And so how did you find those? Was it just a matter of like doing a certain type of Google search, or focusing on the women public speakers or in your area, or like how did you find those places to join?
Oh, because I'm a big networker offline. So I don't just hang out on my computer. I hang out on my computer. In fact, that's the last place I really want to be, is behind my computer. I'd rather be out networking in person, speaking at events or going to conferences and networking. So that's where I get a ton of connections. But also when you are at networking events, you talk to other networkers and you ask questions, then you'll find a lot of different things that are going on. Like I have 4 events a year as well that I book speakers for. I book podcast guests. And so when you're at these events, you can find people like me who have other events events and you can do stage swaps, who have podcasts or radio shows, and you get on each other's shows. It's just a huge opportunity. And people, I think, don't understand the power of the offline marketing as much as they are trying to make it online, so to speak.
Trying to hide behind the computer screen, right?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I have some clients who are more disabled, or they're not able to leave their house, or they have really little kids. Then we have to do the certain online things that work, right? But if you're able to get out, then it is faster to meet people in person, to take them to the next step than it is if you're just an online friend or follower.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. And if they can do both, like maybe if they're already trying to do this online, then they can also like do the online part of it to make it even better. And so you mentioned that so like so there's the go to these offline events and network, and then that leads you to these associations you can join to do the stage props and stuff like that. And the other half of it that you mentioned was that you go on social media, you go on Facebook, you go on LinkedIn, and you send these private message templates, and it's different depending on if it's someone new or existing friend or a group. And so I'm not asking you to give away your template or anything like that, but if you're getting someone, you're trying to move them off social media and get them on the phone, what's the, I guess, what's the pretext for that? Like, what's the reason for you getting them on the phone?
You make it a win-win situation. Hey, let's get on the phone and see if or how we can refer business to each other, right? Who doesn't want to talk about that?
Well, my thing about that is like if someone asks me that, I'm thinking, okay, well, what's the reason? Like if someone wants to get on the phone and just see how we can help each other or chit chat, then my my response is, well, what's the point of that phone call?
Well, there's more to it. I'd have to pull it out and read it. But
Okay.
yeah, there is more to it, but it's basically you're approaching someone for a win-win situation. And let's see if or how we can help each other or refer business. And we get 20 to 30% response rate from these messages. And I've been doing it for 5 or 6 years. So the clients that do engage in this strategy, they actually have to stop doing it after about a couple weeks because they get too many responses that they can't keep up with replying and getting people scheduled. So it works. And it's my system's online. It's only $37. Somebody can go $35 even. Somebody could go grab it. Not that I'm trying to sell it. It's just it's a great tool. It's a great tool. It's one thing you could do to get more business online and move them to either a phone call, or a lot of times too, those messages have a full signature line and a PS going to my free gift. And a lot of times they'll just go sign up for my free gift. So I just get opt-ins. So it works either way.
Cool. So there, yeah, there's a win-win either way. And so you mentioned that there's the $37 product for it. And I mean, if you want to mention it, go ahead because it even has my interest a little bit.
Yeah, it's called the Profit from Social Media Messaging System. It's on my website under my product page. If you go to jumpstartyourmarketing.com, jumpstartyourmarketing.com /products /social media, you'll get there.
Okay,
And there's
and so the name of that one is Profit from
Profit from Social Media
Social Media
Messaging
Messaging
System.
System.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. Just to make sure that we have that in the show notes and all that and all that cool
Yeah.
stuff. And I mean, and yeah, and I mean, I think that this is a really important subject to talk about because I think about some. I mean, I think that we've all kind of been spammed at some point or another, right? Like sometimes I've had the cookie cutter emails or messages that kind of went in the trash, or the stuff that came in the FedEx box that went in the trash. But then there have been some other times when I ended up working with someone and I had to really think about like the path that it took because
Yeah.
they were that good, right? Like someone that I had maybe met at an event, which led to a podcast, which led to a webinar, which led to like cross promoting or something like that, or maybe they messaged me and asked for my address to send some kind of like a t-shirt, and that led to other stuff. And so that's one of those things where the whole like the networking, the joint venture thing, it's something where I'm always looking to do that a lot more, and I think that a lot of people listening need that. And I think that it's sort of discouraging to to do more of that just because it's hard to see the immediate returns from that, right? I mean, do you have any thoughts on that? Like, if someone says, I know that I should be putting myself out there and talking to more people, but if they say, like, I just don't have the time, or maybe they've done it in the past, but haven't had good results. I mean, what would you say to someone like that?
Well, you have to be consistent with everything that you're doing. And I'm doing about 10 to 15 marketing strategies every single month in my business, including publicity and direct mail and social media and lead generation on my website. So many different things. Speaking, networking, you name it. I do 10 to 15 different strategies every month on a consistent basis. Now, granted, I have a good team who does a lot of things for me now. But in the beginning, I was even doing those myself. Okay. And if you want to delegate, it may only be a couple $100 a month to get some of this off your plate so you can be more consistent. Okay. You got to start somewhere, but you got to be consistent. If you're not consistent, it's not going to work.
And that makes a lot of sense. And I like that near the last part thing that you said, where I mean, what's a couple $100 worth to you? If putting in a couple $100 frees up 6 hours a week, frees up even an hour a day or something like that, that's totally worth it. And I think that
Yeah.
it's a really good message. And I think that a lot of people think that they maybe need to do it all by themselves, or need to be a perfectionist, and that just sounds like a recipe for being stuck at the computer 16 hours a day, not making enough money. And it sounds like your way, Katrina, is a lot more fun, just as far as network with people and hire the right people and joint venture with the right people. And so I want to make sure that everyone knows about everything that you have going on. So could you tell us about maybe like your websites and your books, and there's any place that anyone should check out to find out more about you?
Yeah, well, I gave my website earlier. There is a free gift page if you want to go to jumpstartgift.com, jumpstartgift.com. If you're interested in the Love Yourself Successful stuff, go over to loveyourselfsuccessful.com /free gifts. And that's plural, /free gifts. And there'll be a download of an audio there and part of my book. And there's a lot of free stuff on my regular Jumpstart Your Marketing website. There's a whole resources page. I'm all about free first, then pay. The right people are going to come through and work with me, and everybody else can go try to figure it out on their own. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. And so at some point you're going to want to invest in somebody somehow. And really, if you're starting out or in the first 3 to 5 years of your business, there you can't beat a one-on-one mentor, because the online trainings are great for a lot of people, but some people aren't product learners. So they need that one-on-one help or accountability, or they need a live event experience or something. So make sure you're shopping for support and resources in your learning style is my recommendation.
Awesome. Match that to your learning style. And I think that that's an awesome message. And I think that even the way that you laid it out there, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense for someone to have to sit through a year or 5 years or 10 years to figure out the whole learning curve, when they can just shortcut that and have the expert already there at their fingertips. And so jumpstartyourmarketing.com, jumpstartgift.com, and loveyourselfsuccessful.com /free gifts. So I mean, I really appreciate all this important stuff. I think this is a really good message for everyone to hear. So I want to thank you so much, Katrina, for stopping by the show today.
You're welcome. Thanks, Robert.
Anytime. Today's program is sponsored by Website Remote, the easy WordPress plugin that installs on your sites to update everything in one click. How amazing would it be to click a button and instantly update hundreds of your WordPress sites, plugins, and themes all at once? Watch the uptime of your sites, log in with a single click, and more. Updating your websites doesn't have to be difficult. Make WordPress simple, easy, and fun again. Try it out right now by going to websiteremote.com /trial and get started today. You'll never manage your websites the same way again.